The background of the Sesshin Reminder is very basic. We are living a life where one can say there are two dimensions. One is the dimension of the duality, and the other is the dimension of non-duality. In the dimension of duality, we enter as we get into different kind of conditionings, especially from the family, from the parents, from the religions, from the culture, from the politics, and all that. This is how we enter into the game of the duality, and every child needs that what we call the ego for getting into the game and to be able to set foot on it. But which is not so often made visible is the fact that this is not our essential reality. This is not what we truly am, and that it is a projection through these conditionings what we are imagining to be reality, and it is relative. So this aspect is not made visible, not so conscious to most people, and especially where in the name of religion, the religious people were getting more themselves worldly and get trapped in the dualistic process. Then the connection to the deeper dimension of the non-duality, of the mystical, was more an abstract idea than a lived and experienced basis. But anybody who wants to get clear, anybody who wants to get free, anybody who wants to allow the love in an honest sense, has to take one step. And that is to get rooted, get familiar with the essential reality, with our source, which is non-dualistic. This is the background for the reminders in this, what we will have as the Sesshin Reminders. They are very much deeply interconnected, but the interesting thing is, those who want to be in the world and go healthily, intelligently, creatively, has to understand that they can only live that when they go deeper and get more conscious and rooted in the non-dualistic dimension. Because when you are only going with the conditioned idea of your reality, you are caught up in the logical, rational process, and you are identified very much with the body-mind personality framework. That means all the time you are basically entangled in the idea that I am separate from the whole, without being aware of it. So practically, when you are letting yourself get settled in this dualistic dimension, you are always having a wall around you. You are not really open, because all the time you are judging, comparing, categorizing, clinging, getting afraid on the basis of this idea that I am so and so. And your whole conditioning also is to try to make yourself to a perfect image of how you should be, what you should be, what you have to achieve, how you have to look in the world. So it's an ongoing struggle, but also an ongoing entanglement and deepening in this illusion of duality. Now, one more thing. Why is it a problem? It is very simple. Because the dualistic perception of the reality we cannot settle with. We cannot hold to it. Even if it in certain moments looks so solid, so permanent, and so nice and beautiful that you don't want to change anything. But the reality is, whether you like it or not, life is ongoingly moving and changing. Everything is in a passing phenomena. And the real challenge is the challenge that everyone who is born is going to die. That means you can play with all this, what is imagined to be the so-called I and the connections around it. But there is no way to settle. There's nothing to cling and feel secure about. Death comes, and all that what we are trying to hold to as I, me or mine, one has to let go and leave. So we come with nothing, we go with nothing. And this is what looks like an uncomfortable fact with which we have to become familiar, which we have to befriend. And that is what will give a very healthy basis, together with your getting more familiar and rooted in the non-dualistic dimension of your reality. So the first reminder is, I have to remind you to ask few questions. So maybe after you listen to it, you can note it down somewhere so that you can ask these questions to yourself 5 times a day, at least. And that question is, am I ready to face my reality without any ifs and buts? And the second question is, am I ready to be open to life, even if I have to go through all uncertainty and fears till I get clear? And the third question, which is the last one, is, am I ready to be committed to be utterly transparent towards myself? That means all what is going on from moment to moment, to be ready to look at it without trying to run away, without trying to play all the games which one has become so familiar with, without trying to cover it up. To really look at that what is. So these are the 3 questions which, for each question you take 2 minutes and look at everything what is coming, because only on the basis of a yes to face, yes to look at things, you need to make any further step on the journey. Because when you are having a no and when you are having hesitation and when you are going around, then don't waste time, because you are not going to take any real step. The real step is 100% step. That means either you keep a wall between you and the reality, or you are ready to put the wall aside and look at the reality. There is no argument and bargaining. You cannot say, oh, my wall is so thin, it's only 1% small, thick. It's not a question of arguing with anybody. It is just either we are opening to see, or we are just trying to stay behind some excuse, some fear, some calculation, some desire, and cling to this or that. So it's a very, very basic area which you are working with in this first reminder. And the second reminder is connected with living to life, living your calculative and defensive approach and being really open to life. So there is a song which many of you know. It has been sung in the Sufi dancing in different occasions. I don't really know who is the author of this song, but it's a very beautiful and insightful basis and very valuable for everyone to remind, because when you can consciously sing and consider the meaning of it, and if you have the feel for it, you have the understanding for it, then you are creating a trustful basis between you and reality. It is a prayer to your innermost being, but it is not a prayer of wanting to achieve or manage anything. It is more a reminder, a request, a way to keep the alertness as deeply as possible. And this song is, "Oh life, let me flow with you. Blow me like a leaf in the wind. Let me hear thy voice, understand thy will, feel it in my heart, live it in my life." It is so precious. It's very simple and direct. It is a step which you are consciously allowing, where you go beyond the conditioned idea of the I, where you are fighting and controlling and trying to force anything, into deep within allowing and being open to life. And now I want to bring your attention to the deeper significance of working with both these. The second reminder, the song, gives you a basis to be familiar with the non-dualistic dimension of your reality. And when you have this deeper dimension, then the awareness process, which is connected with the questioning in the first, becomes a basis for you to be able to live and participate in the life process without getting lost in it. Then you can use your mind, you can use your logic, you can use your knowledge, but you also, through that, allow yourself to be reminded that it is all a passing show. It is all something where you cannot settle with. Actually, I can say these two reminders together are the very essence of the perspective of life surfing. Because you are with the life, you are not running away from life, but you are living the life with an awareness where you are honest, where you are true to yourself, where you are authentic. And that makes you free from the inner conflicts and duality, entanglement in the duality. And with that basis, when you use the mind, when you use your understanding, it becomes a playful, flexible, but yet energetic and intense way of being with the life without getting lost in the game of the duality, without getting lost in the illusion, what the dualistic process is. So work with both these reminders. Sing this song at least 5 times a day to yourself, loudly or gently. The thing is, when you sing, feel also whatever is going on in you. So it becomes not just a kind of ritual you are doing, you are looking, and allow it to become as deep. And when you can really allow it, you will see it is bringing about very significant transformation of energy process in you. That is very, very valuable. So the second one helps you to transcend the entanglement in the duality. The first one helps you to deal with the reality of the dualistic process and be able to function, be able to go with the managing factor in a healthy, human, intelligent and creative way. So work with both these reminders as carefully, as wholeheartedly as you can.